First step to success for your next event. Visit emjmarketing.com.
Hour 2 today is brought to you by Landmark Cinemas and Landmark Cinemas Now. Fight or flight. A mercenary takes on the job of tracking down a target on a plane but must protect her when they're surrounded by people trying to kill both of them. Starring Josh Hartnett, Katie Sackhoff, Julian Kostov. Fight or flight in Landmark Cinemas Now. We're going to Edmonton now, where last night Adam Henrique scored twice in the first period. Evander Kane had a goal and a helper, and netminder Stuart Skinner made 24 saves as the Edmonton Oilers blanked the visiting Vegas Golden Knights 3-0 to grab a commanding 3-1 series lead. Kevin Karius covers the series and all of the National Hockey League for Sports 1440. Hey, I appreciate you joining us, Dickie, on clearly a busy day. You're outside the Mecca, huh?
Do you like my backdrop?
Yes, it's nice. It's very nice.
I just pulled off the road.
Yeah.
I was heading to Commonwealth Stadium, Normie, to cover the Elks practice, and I couldn't make it.
Oh,
so
good
I
for
thought
you.
I'd better duck off into Rogers Place here.
Well, and that place was rocking last night. Is it louder now than it's ever been, or is that just par for the course for Oiler games, what we're seeing watching these games?
Okay, that first period last night, I've never seen a first period like that in all the years that I've covered the Stanley Cup playoffs and NHL hockey. The intensity that we saw last night, as well as just the entertainment value. It was everything you could imagine and want in a Stanley Cup playoff hockey game. The Oilers' penalty kill unit was phenomenal. Stu Skinner made 2 or 3 great saves to give the Oilers what they needed in goal, because there's been lots of talk about what Stu has offered and what Cal Pickard has offered. But everything, a fight between Frederick and Haig. You saw the Oilers go hard to the net. They got under the skill of Aiden Hill. Everything that you saw last night in the first period is what you want to see in Stanley Cup playoff hockey.
Easy for you to say when your team was up 2-0 and went on to win 3-0. Let me ask you this. I know it was a hell of a first period, but there was only one minor handed out over the final 40 minutes. What threw a wet blanket over that in the first intermission, do you think? All the fireworks and then nothing?
Well, I don't think that you can keep up that intensity by either team. So I think the game settled in after the 20-minute mark. I would imagine that someone said something to Aiden Hill to just worry about stopping the puck and don't try to get involved in extracurricular activities, because he was heavily involved, as you know, with Evander Kane, several times with Zach Hyman. He had stuck the leg out on Matthias Janmark, who skated through the crease. Probably didn't have to do that, but that's what they were trying to do. And after the first period, I think the game just settled in. Having said that, the Oilers still continued to play very strong defensively, and they carried that over for the remaining third period as well.
Please tell me what Oiler fans are saying about this series. My guess is they're wondering who will start in goal in Game 5 or what. What are they saying on your show?
Cal Pickard's not ready to go, so he's still several days away. I would imagine that's a decision to be made later in the series. Right now, Stu Skinner's playing game number 5 tomorrow.
Well, because he has to. But what about the eventual, when the decision needs to be made? You keep going with the guy that's hot, do you not?
Yes, and I would say the other thing that we'd be looking at here is that why is it that one guy has to take the bull by the horns here? I think that down the road, when you look at almost every team right now, that what we've got left, you can take Florida out of the mix. The Leafs are definitely in the mix. We're goaltenders. Both goalies are going to be needed. You're going to need Stollers. You're going to need Wall if the Leafs were to go on here. There's a few teams in Ottinger and Bobrovsky. The Oilers aren't one of them. They're going to need both guys here. They're going to need Pickard. They're going to need Skinner. And that's how we're going to see this play out if they continue to go on to rounds 3 and 4. They're going to need both guys.
The Oilers needed Fuhr and Moog in the 80s, as you know. Do you sense or feel a similarity there? Pickard's putting up the numbers Fuhr did, or is that just too lofty to say?
Yeah, I mean, we're talking Fuhr and Moog here. So, I mean, Pickard's been excellent. Stu was really good last night, and he needed that. He really needed that opportunity to redeem himself. So they're still going to need both guys, Normie, and that's just the way it is. They aren't deep enough. These guys aren't 60-game guys. Skinner's not a 60-game guy. Pickard's definitely not. So they're going to need both guys for playoff success.
Vegas good enough to turn this thing on a hairpin, or the Oilers got it in the bag? What do you see ahead?
In the bag is a strong phrase. This is a team, though, Vegas, that is seasoned. It's a championship pedigree team. Last night, though, Leon Draisaitl had Jack Eichel in his back pocket. Eichel didn't create much. Leon, out of the 13 minutes, 5v5, played almost 9 minutes against Eichel. So I would imagine that will try to continue in game number 5. I'm not saying that the Oilers are going to wrap it up tomorrow, but if they play the way they did last night, I don't think there's anyone that can beat them with that level of game that they brought last night.
Okay, 2 last questions for you, because I'm sure your arms are getting tired.
Holy cow.
Ken Holland to L.A.
Ooh.
What do you think about that?
Well, I would imagine I asked Frank Saravalli that this morning too, and I asked him about a guy that I played junior with, and Jim Hiller, back in the Melville Millionaire days, Roddy. I said, do you think Jim Hiller will be back? And he said no. So that would be kind of sad for me on that personal level. I was surprised. I mean, even talking to Kenny last year, I mean, he's coming up to 70 years old. But as he said, he can't handle a stress-free lifestyle. So you look at a couple of guys that are getting long in the tooth there, in Doughty, Kopitar, but they've got some great young players coming up. Fiala's still great. Kempe's great. Byfield is an emerging star in the league. I'm surprised Kenny still wants to get in the game, because to me, the Kings are several years away from being a top-notch, high-caliber Stanley Cup contender, especially when they're in the same division with the Oilers, because they just can't seem to get past it.
Great hot takes. Great hot takes, Dick. You're really picking this media thing up, man. And lastly, you said you're on your way.
I'm on my way
to Edmonton. Yeah, you're on your way to Edmonton Elkamos. You're on your way to Edmonton Elkamos training camp. Give me an outlook, please. I can't believe you're going. This is a good sign.
Well, it's a nice day, and the 11:30 media availability with Chris Knobloch, I probably could get in there in time now, but practice for the Elks ends at 11:55, so it's tough for us to get guys on the morning show. I'm looking forward to this season more so than I have since 2015 when Ed Hervey left.
Okay, well, we'll see if it ends the same. Your boy Avery says they're going to host a home playoff game, so we'll see.
Yeah, well, there's one thing I like about Avery. Nothing.
I gotcha. Okay, that? Dick. Thanks for the time.
Boys. See
ya. Kevin Karius from Sports 1440 Edmonton. He needs some new jokes. I want to say it was September 5th, 1990. We're in an amphitheater at Mount Royal College in Calgary. He walks in with Craig Adam. They were second-year students of the broadcasting faculty. I was in my first year. And they said, does anybody here play goal? They said, you're on the team. And from there, we've been great friends ever since. But then, of course, in 1990, Karius would skate up to me and say in practice, there's one thing I like about you. I said, what's that? Nothing. And he's